Hello children, let's come back to our maths class. Before we go to today's class, let us have a small recap of what we have seen in the previous class. In the previous class, we have used the properties of addition and subtraction of surds and also multiplication and division of surds. Okay children, so you people have to be thorough with all the properties. Okay, tell me what is the definition for surd? A surd is an irrational root of a rational number. What is the definition for surd? Surd is an irrational root of a rational number. Remember this thing, okay, children? Irrational root of a rational number. So this is the definition for surd. This is what you call as surd. And also we have seen some of the types of surds. What were they? Pure and mixed, simple and compound, and also binomial surd. Yes children, what is a pure surd? The coefficient is 1. Yes. What is the mixed surd? The coefficient of a surd is other than 1. That means the coefficient can be 2, 3, anything, but it should not be 1. If the coefficient is 1, you have to call the surd as pure surd. And if the coefficient is other than 1, you have to call it as mixed surd. What is a simple surd? Simple surd means it contains only one term. And what is the meaning of compound surd? It contains more than one term, or you can say it contains more than two terms along with the algebraic operation. It can contain a plus sign or it can contain a minus sign. And also we have seen about the binomial surds. That is, binomial surd is an algebraic sum of two terms. I have told you that binomial surd is a combination of two terms. How is the condition given? One of the term can be surd, another term can be also surd. So it can be surd plus surd. This is for binomial. So what is the meaning of binomial? How many terms will be there? Two terms will be there. So it can be a sum of two surds or a rational number plus surd. So this is the definition for binomial surd. So what is a binomial surd? Binomial surd is a combination of two terms where one term can be surd and another term can be surd, or one term can be a rational number and other term can be a surd. So it is a combination of surd plus surd or a rational number plus surd. So this already we have seen in the previous class. Let us continue today's class. Today we are going to continue with exercise 2.6, question number 3. Okay children, get ready with your classwork. Write on today's date and day. Take down your classwork. Write on today's date, day. We have completed sum number 2. Yes children? So today we are going to continue with sum number 3. Write on third question. So you have to draw a margin and a rough column. You have to have this habit. It's not every day. We just cannot go on saying this. Once a particular thing is said, you have to just go on following it. So whenever you start with a new page, you have to draw a margin and a rough column. Okay children? Okay. So just stay down question number 3. They have given you some of the values of surds. If root 2 is 1.414, root 3 is equal to 1.732, root 5 is equal to 2.236, root 10 is equal to 3.162, then find the values of the following correct to 3 places of decimal. So they are asking you the answers up to 3 decimals. The first one is root 40 minus root 20, or you can read as square root of 40 minus square root of 20. I have already told you, if nothing is mentioned means what is the root index over here? What is the number present here? Yes, 2. For 2, how you should read it as? Square. Don't say second root. Okay. You have to read it as square root of 40. So if you have 3 here means cube root of 40. So 4 means fourth root of 40 and so on. Write on the questions children. Okay, sum number 3. Root 2 is 1.414. Root 3 is 1.732. Root 5 is 2.236. Root 10 is 3.162. And we have to find out the value for root 40 minus root 20. This is from exercise 2.6, question number. So first of all, let us factorize this. Okay, children? Then only we can simplify it further. Because here we know the value for root 2, we know the value for root 3, we know the value for root 5 and root 10. Yes, we don't know the value for root 40 and we don't know the value for root 20. So let's try to factorize it and let's see whether you get the answer in terms of these values. Okay, children? So let's factorize 40 and let's factorize 20. Come on, go for the factorization, children. You know how to factorize it. Come on, do it. I hope you have started with the factorization. So what do you get for 40? Last number is 0. Yes. So it can go in the table of 2. So 2, that is 40 is divisible by 2. The last number is 0. The last digit is 0. 2 twos are 4. Zeros are 2 zeros are. Again the last digit is 0. So it is divisible by 2. So 2 tens are 20. Again, the last digit is 0, so it will be divisible by 2. So 2 5s are 10. 2 5s are 10. Now 5 goes in the table of 5. So 5, 5, they are same numbers. You can put here number 1. So we have factorized 40. So 2 20, 2 10s are, 2 5s are, 5 5s are. That is 5 1s are 5. Let's go for 20. 2, last digit is 0, so it is divisible by 2. 2 tens are, last digit 0, 2. 5s are 10. 5 goes in the table of 5. The leftover is 1. So we have factorized 40. That is, we have factorized 40 and also we have factorized 20. Now let's see how to write this. Okay. Now let's see how to write down. So how to write root 40? Now I have told you the root index is 2. If nothing is mentioned means you have to take the root index as 2. What is the meaning of root index? The number that is present over here in the square root one. Okay, so this number is read as root index. Already we have studied this, yes, children? So what is the root index over here? Nothing is mentioned. So if nothing is mentioned, it should be taken as 2. So what is the meaning of 2? That means you are going to pair two numbers together. And from two numbers, you're going to take one number outside. Just see here, children. So root 40 is equal to, I'll just write down the steps. If you're thorough with this step, you can just do it directly. So root 40 will be written as 2 into 2 into 2 into 5. Are you clear till here? Is it clear? The step is clear to you? So root 40 is written as 2 into 2 into 2 into 5. Now, what is the root index here? It's 2. That means you are going to group two numbers together. Remember, when you group the numbers, you have to take the same number. So this two numbers, I cannot take 2 and 5 because they are different numbers. So I have grouped 2 and 2. Now, from this group, I have to take one number outside. So this will be 2 root of 2 into 5. That is 2 root 10. Just stay on the steps, children. Are you clear with the steps? So what we have done, we have just written the factors of 40. So that's 2 into 2 into 2 into 5. So from 2, that is we have to group 2 to numbers. Why we are grouping 2 to numbers? Because the index is 2. So from this 2, you are going to take one number outside. That is, you are going to take 1, 2 outside. And when you take 1, 2 outside, you should not put the square root sign. So 2 square root of, now what is left out without the pair? 2 and 5. So write down your 2 into 5. So what is the answer? 2 square root of 10. So what is the answer you get for root 40? The answer is 2 into root 10. That is, when you factorize root 40, you get 2 into root 10. This is a simplification of root 40 is 2 into root 10. Come on, let's go for root 20 now. Root 20 will be, come on, let's write down. What are the factors? 2 into 2 into 5. So this is 2 into 2 into 5. What is the root index? 2 is the root index. That means you are going to group how many numbers together? 2 numbers together. So I'm just going to group 2 into 2. Now, from this group, I have to take one number outside. So this will be 2. And what is left inside the square root? It's 5. Only 5 is left. So what you get when you simplify root 20? You get 2 into root 5. So I'm just going to replace root 40 and replace root 20. So you can say here, therefore, root 40 minus root of 20 is equal to. So what is the simplification for root 40? It's 2 into root 10. Okay. Minus. What is the simplification for root 20? It's 2 into root 5. Are you clear, children? Come on, take on the steps. So we have simplified root 40. We got 2 into root 10. And also we have simplified root 20. We have got 2 into root 5. Okay, so now we are just going to change root 40 as 2 into root 10. And we are going to change root 20 as 2 into root 5. Okay, now just see, children, what is common in both the things? What is common? 2 is common. So here also 2 is present. Here also 2 is present. So we are going to take 2 common. So what you will get here? I am going to take 2 common. So what is left here? Root 10 minus. What is left here? Root 5. Are you getting the step, children? Root 40 is 2 into root 10. What is root 20? 2 into root 5. Now here, what can be taken common? 2 is present here. Again 2 is present here. So I am going to take 2 common. So what is left here? Root 10 is left here. What is left here? Root 5 is left here. Okay, now children, I know the value for root 10. Yes, what is the value for root 10, children? It's 3.162. Yes, write down the value. 3.162. So just replace the value for root 10. 3.162. And what is the value for root 5? It's 2.236. So we have replaced the value for root 10 and root 5. That's 3.162 minus 2.236. Come on, let's simplify. You know how to go for the procedure. We have to simplify the numbers which are in the bracket first. So you have to uh, get the difference. Come on, find the difference first. So we have to find out the difference. That is whatever numbers are inside the bracket. You have to simplify the numbers which are given in the bracket. So you have to get the difference of this. So 3.160. So you have drawn a rough column, yes, children? So just work out in the rough column. 3.162 minus, come on, and the answer. Be careful when you simplify. What do you get here? 2 minus 6. So this is a smaller number. This is a bigger number. So you cannot subtract this. Yes, children? So you have to borrow from the previous number. So you have to borrow from 6. So this turns to be 12 and this becomes 5. 12 minus 6, 6. 5 minus 3, 2. Again, a small number minus a big number. So we cannot subtract. We are going to borrow from the previous number. So 3 turns to be 0. That is 2. And 1 turns to 11. So 11 minus 2, 9. And 2 minus 2, that's 0. So you get 0 minus 0.926. So when you subtract these two numbers, you get the answer as 0.926. So just write down here 2 into 0.926. Are you clear, children? So see, we started with root 40 and we root 20, but we don't know the answers for it. Now what we have done, we have just simplified them. We have just reduced them further and we got the answers as 2 root 10 and 2 root 5, where some of the values were known to us. So we just substitute them and we got the answer. Now let's multiply these two values. Come on, multiply the numbers, children. You can show the multiplication in the rough column. So 0.926 into 2, 12, 5, 9 2s are 18, 1, 2 into 0, 0, 0 plus 1, 1. The answer is 1.852. So they have asked you to write down till 3 decimal places and here I have just got 3 places of decimals. So our answer is 1.852. Here are the answers. I hope you are clear with the sums. Have you completed, children? Have you written around the answers? Okay, now question number 3. The second subpart will be a homework from 2.6. Question number 3. The second subpart will be homework. It's root 300 plus root 90 minus root 8. So you have to factorize it. You have to simplify the numbers. And wherever the values are possible, you are going to substitute the values and you are going to get the answer. So question number 3. The second subpart is your homework. Now take down the fourth question. Write on the fourth question. Arrange surds in descending order. They have just given you descending order. You just change the question as question number 4. Arrange the surds in ascending order and descending order. Arrange the surds in ascending order and descending order. Read on the first question. Cube root of 5, ninth root of 4 and sixth root of 3. Cube root of 5, ninth root of 4 and sixth root of 3. So read it carefully, children. How to read this? Cube root of 5. This is ninth root of 4. This is sixth root of 3. So now we cannot just arrange the surds by looking at the radicand or by looking at the index. We have to make a same index. So what is the index over here? It's 3. What is the index here? It's 9. What is the index here? It's 6. So we have to make the index same. And once you make the index same, we can arrange the search in ascending order or descending order. So for getting the same index, what you have to do is you are going to take the LCM of 3 index. Let's take the LCM of 3, 9, 6. Come on, we are going to take the LCM of 3 index, that is 3, 9, 6. I hope you people know how to solve the LCM. Come on, try out the LCM, children. Just check the numbers. It's 3, 9, 6. So whether it goes the table of 3 or 2, you can just start with 3 or you can start with 2, no problem. It's your choice. Actually, mostly the rule is you have to start from the smaller number, but this is of our convenience. Just we can use 2 or we can use 3. Okay, I'm going to start with 2 here because 6 goes in the table of 2. 3 and 9 is not divisible by 2. So I cannot touch 3 and 9. I have to take the number 6. So 2. So keep 3 as 3. Keep 9 as 9 because 3 is not divisible by 2. 9 is not divisible by 2. So keep these two numbers as it is. Now 6 is divisible by 2. So 2 into 3 gives you 6. So when you divide 6 by 2, you get the answer as 3. So put here 3. Are you getting my point, children? So we have taken the root index, that is 3, 9 and 6. We are going to take the LCM of 3 numbers. So we have 3, 9 which is not divisible by 2. So keep these numbers as it is and write down the number 2 here. Okay, come on children, do the next step. So now what is the next number here? 3, 9, 3. So what number you are going to use here? Yes, 3. Come on, divide by 3. Have you divided by 3? 3, 9, 3. All three numbers are divisible by 3. So just divide by 3. So what do you get here? 3. 3 ones are 3. 3 threes are 9. 3 ones are 3. So you get 1, 3, 1. Okay. Now you have a number 3 which is divisible by 3. So again we are going to use the number 3 over here. Yes. So 1 will be as it is 1. 3 ones are 3. So put here 1 and here 1. So what you have got here? 2, 3, 3. So what is the LCM, children? So LCM is equal to 2 into 3 into 3. So what is it? 2 threes are 6. 6 threes are 18. So put here 18. So LCM is 18. See, I have found the LCM of 3 numbers together. So what is the LCM we have got here? 18. So now what are we going to do? We are just going to make all the index as 18. That is the work we have to do. Now let's see how to change the source. Let's take the first cert. This is cube root of 5. How to read this, children? Cube root of 5. Now, I'll just write a little bigger. So 3 and here it's 5. Okay, children. Now what I'm going to do is, I just want the index as 18. So what is the number here? Is 3. So just see, just circle this 3. So what is left, children, here? 3 into 2. So what is left here? 3 into 2. That is 6. So you are going to multiply here by 6. Because 3 is already present here. Okay, I'm just going to not consider this 3. When I just keep this 3 over here, So what is left now? 3 and 2. What is the multiplication of 3 and 2? It's 6. You're going to take the number here 6. 3 into 6. And when you multiply here by 6, you have to take the power here 6. Are you clear with the steps, children? See, what is the LCM here? 18. So I want 18 here. So here the number is 3. So I have to multiply by 6. When you multiply by here 6, you have to take the power here as 6. That is whatever number you are multiplying, it turns to be the power in the radicand. So you get this as square root of. That is in place of index, you are going to put now here 18. So what will come here? 18. So this is equal to 18th root. See, first it was cube root. Now it has turned to 18th root. Now you have to find out 5 raised to 6. 5 raised to 6 means 5 into 5 into 5 into 5 into 5 into 5. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, children. Come on, multiply this and get me the answer. Come on, go for the calculation. Do not take all the numbers together. Just take two numbers and go on multiplying. That will be easy. So you have your 5 into 5. We know the answer for 5 into 5. 5 into 5, 5 into 5. So 25, 25, 25. So go on multiplying. 25 into 25. 5 5s are 25. 2, 5 2s are 10. 10 plus 2, 12. All simple calculations you people can just do. So 0, 5 2s are 10. 2 2s are 4 plus 1, 5. You get 5 to 625. So I have just multiplied 25 into 25. I got the answer as 625. So you have to multiply by 25 now. Come on, multiply. Go with the multiplication, children. Do not waste your time. So what is the answer here? 5 5s are 25. 2. 5 2s are 10. 10 plus 2, 12. 6 5s are 30 plus 1, 31. 0. 10. 2 2s are 4 plus 1, 5. 6 2s are 12. So 5, 2, 6, 5, 1. So what is the answer we get when we multiply 5 6 times? That is 5 into 5 into 5 into 5 into 5 into 5. The answer is 15,625. So what do you get the answer as? 15,625. So what was the third? We started with cube root of 5. So it has changed to 18th root of 15,625. We are just going to follow the same manner and we are going to complete the remaining two surds. We are just going to change the remaining two surds. Have you taken down the multiplication, children? Come on, let's take the next third. What is the next third here? It's 9th root of 4. Was it? 9th root of 4. And what is the LCM we have got here? It's 18. So 9. So 3 into 3 gives you 9. So just do not touch this. So what is left here? 2. So 9 into 2. Are you getting my point, children? So put here 9 is already present and you are going to multiply by 2. So when you multiply by 2, you have to take the power here as 2. Are you getting my point? Whatever number you multiply by here, you have to take the power in the radicand part. So here it's 4. So the multiple number, what is the number you have multiplied by? You have multiplied by 2. So you have to take the power as 2. Are you getting my point? I just write a little bigger. So 9 into 2 and this is 4 square. What is 9 into 2? Simple calculation. So you get here 18th root of 16. 4 square. What is 4 square? 4 into 4. That is 16. Here no need to go for the calculation. Here we can do just the calculation mentally. So 9th root of 4 changes to 18th root of 16. Okay children, now let's go to the next third. That is 6th root of 3. 6th root of 6th root. 6. So 3 into 2 gives you 6. So what is left now? 3 is left. So multiply by 3. So when you multiply by 3, you have to bring here the power 3. So here it becomes 3 cube. 3 raised to 3. So this is 18th root of 27. What is 3 cube? 3 into 3 into 3. 3 3s are 9, 9 3s are 27. So you get 18th root of 27. So we have found all the answers. So now we are going to arrange in the ascending order and descending order. So let's see how to arrange it. So first of all, I am going to go for the ascending order. I'll just mention here ascending order. Ascending order means you know what is the meaning of ascending order. From small to big. Ascending means small to big. Ascends. Can you use ascends in one of the sentence? How you'll use ascends? The sun ascends, okay? The sun ascends in the east. The sun is just going to ascend. It's just going to rise from the, like, then when you just get up early in the morning, you cannot be just able to see the sun. It will be just behind the mountain, yes? When you just see nature or the scenery. So what happens when time just goes on moving? When time moves, the sun is just ascending. The sun just starts ascending. This it starts from the lower position to the higher position. So ascending order means from small to big. Okay, getting my point, children? So here, now we have all the root index same, 18, 18, 18. So this is very, very easy for arranging the surds. Which is the smallest radicand over here? So focus on the radicand. What is the radicand here? 16, 27 and 15,625. So let's write down the order. So the smallest number is 16. I'll write down here 18th root of 16. Next one. 18th root of 27, 18th root of 15,625. Write down the orders. So what you get here, you are going to focus on the radicand. Okay children, you get 18th root of 16, 18th root of 27 and 18th root of 15,625. So now you are going to write down the original surd, okay? So this is the surds that we have changed. So what is the original surd now? So original surd, what is the value for, or what is the original surd for 18th root of 16? 18th root of 16 is 9th root of 4. Yes children, so we have changed this surd into 18th root of 16. So you are going to replace the original surd. We have to write the original surd. So what is the original? It's 9th root of 4. Okay. So 18th root of 27, what is the original part? It's sixth root of 3. This one. Sixth root of 3. And what is 18th root of 15,625? It is cube root of 5. The first one. So cube root of 5. So we have completed the ascending order. So first of all, you write down the changed one, okay, the new cert. And after writing the new cert, you have to just write down the old one. You have to just replace the original one. Okay, have you completed, children? Are you clear with the ascending order? Okay. Now let's go for the descending order. You know what is the meaning of descending order? Descends. Descends. What is the meaning of descends? From top to bottom. That is from big to small. Just complete. I'll just continue here. Descending order. And you know how to write descending order. We just come from the back. Yes, we just take from the last part. So it's 18th root of 15,625. 18th root of 27. 18th root of 16. I have just written the changed one, the new one. That is, I have just made the same root. I have just written the new cert. And now you are going to replace the original one. So I get here cube root of 5, sixth root of 3, and ninth root of 4. Write down the answers, children. So are you clear? Okay, I'll just explain to you once again. So the question was to arrange the cells in ascending order and descending order. So you're being given with the cells with different root index. What was the root index over here? It's 3. What is the root index here? It's 9. And what is the index here? It's 6. So it's different. So when the root index are different, we cannot arrange the cells in any order. So what is the work? We are going to make the index same. You have to make all the index the same. So what are we going to do? We are going to take the LCM. LCM of the root index. What is the root index? 3. What is the root index? 9. What is the root index? 6. Okay. Take the LCM of it. So when you take the LCM, what you get? It's 18. So you're going to take one third at a time. So cube root of 5. Okay. So now this is 3. So 3 into what gives you 18? 3 into 6. So when you multiply by 6, remember you have to take the power for the radical as 6. So this will turn to 5 raised to 6. So you're just going on multiplying 5 into 5 into 5 into 5, 5 into 5. Remember, don't write 5 into 6 is 30. 5 raised to 6. 5 raised to 6 means you have to multiply 5 how many times? 6 times. To get 18th root of 15,625. Then you had 9th root of 4. So I want here 18. So I have already 9 present. So 9 into dash is equal to 18. 9 into 2 is equal to 18. So when you multiply here by 2, you have to raise the power for radicand as 2. So 4 square. 4 into 4, 16. And same way the last was 6th root of 3. 6 is present here. So 6 into dash is equal to 18. 3. So just raise the power as 3. You get 3 into 3 into 3, that is 27. So now I have all the index as the same. So you are just going to compare the radicand and you will get the required answer. Are you clear, children? Okay. Now take on the fifth question. So here the fourth question, second subpart will be a homework. Fourth question, second subpart will be a homework. So just do not get confused with the second subpart. In the first subpart, we just dealt with one root indexes, and for second subpart, you have two root index. So very simple thing. You have to just multiply both the index. That's all. I'll just give you a hint how to solve sum number 2 for question number 4. So what is the question given, children? Just see the second subpart. It's square root of cube root of 5. And one more. It's cube root of fourth root of 7. And next one. Okay. So just do not get confused by looking at the surds. Now here we have two roots. So what will be the answer here? It will be 2 into 3. 2 into 3, 6. You will get here 6th root of 5. 3 into 4, that is 12th root of 7. Nothing is mentioned. That means you have to take it as 2. 2 into, nothing is mentioned here. So this is 2, this is 2. So 4th root of, okay, one step extra. So just multiply both the index. So 2 into 3, 6th root of 5. 3 into 4, 12th root of 7. 2 into 2, 4th root of 3. You have to take the LCM of these three numbers. Take the LCM and then you have to just proceed in the same manner. And you have to find out ascending and descending order for question number 4. Both ascending and descending order. Okay, children? So you have to complete your sum number 4, second subpart. Okay. Now, take on the fifth question. Can you get a pure surd when you find the first one, the sum of two surds? Second one, the difference of two surds. The third one, the product of two surds. Fourth one, the quotient of two surds. Justify each answer with an example. So you're going to just give an example and you're going to say whether you're able to find or not. Have you taken on the question, children? Just take on the question. You have to write the question, children. Do not skip the question. You have to write the question and the answer. Question number 5. So after writing the question, you just give the heading as the sum of two surds. So after completing all the question, that is still justify each answer with an example. Then you give the heading as the sum of two surds. This number 1, the sum of two surds. Have you taken on the question, children? Let's move with the first part, the sum of two surds. What's the question? The question says, can you get a pure surd? Now, what is the meaning of pure surd? The meaning of pure surd is a surd with the coefficient 1. What should be the coefficient? The coefficient should be 1. Suppose I give you a surd 4 cube root of 5. This is a surd. What is the coefficient here? The coefficient is 4. Are you getting my point? What is the coefficient? It's 4. But what is the meaning of pure surd? The coefficient should be 1. So what is the number here? Nothing is mentioned. That means the coefficient is taken as 1. So you have to get a pure set. So the question is, can you get a pure set? Can you get a pure set when you take the sum of two sets? Sum of any two sets. So right down here, consider, consider any number. Okay, this is your choice. I'll just give you some examples. When you just do the homework part, you can just take any other numbers. So consider 3 fourth root of 5 and minus 2 fourth root of 5. Remember to take the same root index and same radicand. Okay, children, then only we can go for the addition or subtraction. So I'm just choosing two surds. I have chosen a surd as 3 fourth root of 5 and minus 2 fourth root of 5. So this 3 is the coefficient, 4 is the root index and 5 is the radicand. Minus 2 is the coefficient, 4 is the root index and 5 is the radicand. Okay children, so you should know what are the different terms used. So 3 is the coefficient, 4 is the root index and 5 is the radicand. So just try to choose the surd with the same root index and the same radicand. Okay children, so that our calculation will go on easier. Okay, so I have taken the two surds as 3 into 4th root of 5 and minus 2 into 4th root of 5. So these are the two surds I have taken. Now I am going to take the sum of two surds. What is the meaning of sum? That means I am just going to add them. I am going to add the two surds. Let me add these two surds. I'll get 3 fourth root of 5 plus, sum means plus, minus 2 fourth root of 5. Okay children. Now plus into minus. What is plus into minus? Minus. When you have plus into minus, the answer is going to be minus. So this will turn to 3 into 4th root 5 plus minus will change to minus 2 into 4th root of 5. Getting the point? So what do you get here? 3 into 4th root of 5 minus 2 into 4th root of 5. Since the root index and the radicand part are same, I'm just going to take the difference of the coefficient. So 3 minus 2 gives you 1. That's what we need. Yes, I have told you that you should get a pure set. The question was, can you get a pure set? Yes, I can get a pure set. Just put here the answer as 4th root of 5. So no need to mention your 1. If you just do not mention your 1, it's the same. So just say here the answer as 4th root of 5. And you have to say the final answer. Yes, we can find a pure set. Yes, we can find a pure set. When we take the sum of two sets. Okay, children. So what's the justification? You have justified us. They have asked check, or they have asked, can you find? Yes, I can find. How? We are just going to give an example and you're going to check it. So we have taken some of the sets. That is, we have taken 3 into 4th root 5 and minus 2 into 4th root 5. I have added the two sets and I got the answer as 4th root of 5. Here the coefficient is 1. What is the coefficient here? The coefficient is 1. That is, the set is a pure set. Yes, we can find a pure set when we take the sum of two sets. Now, from question number 5, uh, the second part will be a homework, children. That is for the difference of two sets. For difference of two sets, what do you have to do? Here I have taken 3 fourth root of 5 and minus 2. Yes, so don't take minus 2, just take 2. So when you take 2 means, you can, when you take the difference means you will get here minus and you will get your 2 into 4th root of 5. You can just take the examples of your choice. You can take any source of your choice, but just take two positive numbers. For some, I have taken one positive and one negative surd. Yes, children. So what you have to do, take for the difference, you have to take one number as positive and the other one also positive. So that when you take the difference of it, you will get the answer as pure set. Okay, children, so try out for the second part. That is the difference of two surds. Okay, now let's go for the third subpart. What is the third one given to you? The product of two surds. And on the next one, the product of two surds. So give the heading over here, the product of two surds. Right down here, consider cube root of 4 into cube root of 5. Consider cube root of 4 into cube root of 5. See here, I am just choosing the product with the coefficient as 1. Here also the product, what is that? The coefficient is 1 and here also the coefficient is 1. So this will be, so consider cube root of 4 and cube root of 5. So therefore, cube root of 4 into cube root of 5. So what is the answer that you get when you take the multiplication of these two surds? So this will be cube root of 20. Do not multiply the index, children. You have to just multiply the radicand part. It is 4 into 5. So what is 4 into 5? It's 20. What is the root index? It will be 3. And I have told you that you can multiply the surds when you have the same index. If you have 3 root, that is 3 root of 4 into square root of 8. You cannot go for the multiplication. I cannot multiply because here the number is 3 and here the number is 2. The root index are different. If you have the same root index, then only you can go for the multiplication. These are the rules that we have already studied. So what you get the answer as? Cube root of 4 into cube root of 5 is equal to cube root of 20. So what is the coefficient here? The coefficient is 1. Okay, children? So write down the final statement. Yes, yes, we can find a pure surd when we take the product of two surds. When we take the product of, okay, children, so just when you go for the sum or the difference, try to choose the surds with the coefficients, okay? And when you go for the product, try to choose the surds without the coefficient. So that when you multiply the coefficients, you should get the answer as 1. The coefficient should be 1. And on the fourth subpart, and on the fourth one, the quotient of two surds. The quotient of two surds. Okay, so we have to choose numbers. Just you can just choose any numbers of your choice. Okay, let's try out some examples over here. So consider root 10 and root 2. Consider root 10 and root 2. So now here, how to go for the division? So therefore, root 10 upon root 2. So see here children, we are having the same index. What is the index over here? It's 2. What is the index over here? It's 2. So this can be written as 10 upon 2. I am just writing down it as a common division. See here, I have just taken a common root also. It was square root of 10 upon square root of 2. So I'm just going to give you some two examples for this. Okay, children? So square root of 10 upon square root of 2 can be written as square root, a common root 10 upon 2. So what is the answer? 2 ones are 2 fives are. So it's square root of 5. Is this a pure set? Yes. Why? Because the coefficient is 1. So we have considered square root of 10 and square root of 2. And when we simplify it further, that is when we take the quotient of these two surds, I got the answer is root 5. Okay, come on, let's take one more examples over here. Consider fifth root of 13. 13, take some numbers which are divisible. Fifth root of 100 and fifth root of 25. Consider fifth root of 100 and fifth root of 25. So what do you get? Come on, let's go for the simplification. So when you divide these two numbers, you get fifth root of 100 upon fifth root of 25. So what is the root over here? It's 5. What is the root here? 5. So they have a common root. So this will be written as fifth root of 100 upon 25. So 25 ones are 25 fours are. So the answer is fifth root of 4. So what is the coefficient? What is the number outside here? It's 1. Nothing is mentioned. Is nothing is there. That means you have to take it as 1. So fifth root of 4. Are you clear, children? The quotient of two surds per product, how you should take the numbers. So there is a way of choosing the surds. For addition, you have a different method. For addition and subtraction, you just have to take the coefficient. For product, do not choose the surds with the coefficients. Okay. Don't take the coefficients, just take the numbers with their index and the radicand. For quotients, also the same manner. So what is the answer you get here? Fifth root of 4. And on the final statement, yes, we can find a pure surd when we take the quotient of two surds. What is the final statement? Yes. We can find a pure surd when we take the quotient of two surds. Okay, children. So we have completed our fifth sum. We have one more sum left out. Yes, children. We have one more sum, that is sixth sum. Can you get a rational number? I'll be doing, we'll be just continuing with the sixth sum in the next class.